What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and today I want to first thank everybody. I want to thank all the subscribers, all the people who commented on the video, everybody that has something to say. I greatly appreciate it. The channel is growing, and without all of you, I wouldn't be where I am, and I just greatly appreciate all of you. I only have one key to the game this time around. Just one key. Don't lose. That's the key. Don't lose. I don't care how you win. I don't care what you do to get the win. Just get the win. Don't lose. Do not lose this game. Because you're dealing with a fan base that has now gotten to the point where we don't care about what you're telling us. And the fact that you've insulted our intelligence so much makes us feel that you think that we don't know football, or that we're not smart enough to understand football. And for that, you have to understand that all the grief you're getting is going to be because you're insulting our intelligence. Okay, we're not mad. We're not solely mad because this team is losing. We're also mad because you're insulting our intelligence in the process of losing. This is why we have the issue with the ownership, because we feel that he's a dumbass. And because he's insulted our intelligence, and now all of a sudden we got a coach who's coming here and he's insulting our intelligence as well. That's the one thing you don't do in Washington when it comes to the fans. You don't insult our intelligence. We don't play that. You can lose, but if you're losing and we understand the losing, and you come to a press conference and you let us know that the reason we're losing is because of this, or you're trying to adjust and you're trying to fix things so we can stop losing, we understand that. But when you come to the podium and you make a comment that doesn't make any sense, you're now insulting our intelligence. You're feeling that we are not intelligent enough to understand why we are losing. All you got to do is win. And understand, winning this one game doesn't alleviate you from all this other stuff. Because again, we are not supposed to be in this situation. We were facing a schedule that only the other teams in the NFC East seem to somehow understand that they can win. We're the only team that lost on Sunday in the NFC East. We're the only team with a losing record in the NFC East. Don't sit up there and think that even for the slightest of moments that somehow you're getting over on a fan base that understands, look, you're not getting it done. You're just not. And the whole Carson Wentz thing, because there's a couple people who made comments about it wasn't all Carson Wentz's fault. Nobody's blaming Carson Wentz in this whole thing. Nobody's blaming Carson Wentz for the whole thing, which is why I gave the Kirk Cousins comparison. This on Sunday was a game that Kirk Cousins would have had that same identical game. He would have thrown for 300 and something yards or 400 and something yards, would have had 2 touchdowns, and somehow, some way would have had a pick. And if you were somebody who read those numbers and didn't watch the game, you'll be like, oh, well, why is everybody mad at Kirk? Because he threw for almost 400 yards and he had 2 touchdowns. He only had that 1 pick. It's not that he had all those numbers, because those numbers look very gaudy. The point is when the pick happens. And that's what happened with Carson Wentz on Sunday. He already had thrown 2 passes before that was nearly picked off. And then it just so happened that on the third throw, he throws the interception. It's not that he had 300 and something yards throwing. It's the fact that when he threw the pick, it was the key pick in a game. Now, again, I'm not putting all of this on Carson Wentz because it wasn't all his fault. Because guess what? He wasn't the one calling the plays. It was Scott Turner. Like, why do you not have a jumbo package where you got all your tall receivers in at one time? Cole Turner is 6'6". John Bates is 6'5". Cam Sims is 6'5". Why are all 3 of them not in down at the goal line? Makes no sense. Everybody that is responding to when it comes to the coaches and the players, we all understand that you're mad. We get it. We get that you're mad. But again, it goes back to don't insult our intelligence. Ron sitting there saying, and see, this is where, I mean, here we are again. All roads lead back to Mr. Wonderful. All roads lead back to Mr. Wonderful. I've told y'all over and over and over again, Ron comes with this inconsistent messaging all the time. And here we are again. A situation where he makes a comment and then, understand this, he got a follow-up question and he still made that same statement. You know, and then it's like, oh, well, I'm back. That's not what I actually meant. And, you know, that's not what it was. And yeah, come on, man. At some point, either you mean what you say or you don't mean what you say. But Ron does this all the time. He'll say something and it's like, what does that even mean, man? Like, what does that mean? A prime example is on one press conference, he sat up there and said, figures lie and lies figure. Did he think he was Confucius when he said that? I mean, because it made no sense. Lies figure what? Lies figure what? I mean, it makes no sense. And he does this all the time. All the time. And it aggravates us as a fan base because we understand that our intelligence is being insulted. We get it. We get it. Not only that, we also understand why him and Jack are friends. They always throw something out there that sits up there and makes it a point of saying, well, you know what, I didn't mean that. That's not what I actually meant. I mean, come on, at some point, again, you're talking about if we as fans are feeling the inconsistency, imagine what the players are feeling. Imagine what they're genuinely feeling. Imagine being in a meeting where a coach is telling you one thing and then he has a press conference and he says something completely different. So then as a player, you're like, well, wait a minute. All right, so should I not be doing this way? Because, that's how you get a Jamin Davis tweet about criticize. Because guess what? He's probably confused too. If we as fans are confused, the players are confused as well. This is not about just losses. Because let's talk about just last year. We as a fan base didn't feel like we were out of games last year, and we faced a tougher schedule last year. And people are saying, well, I don't understand why people are asking for Taylor Heineke. It's because of that. Last year, we did not feel like we were truly out of games last year, even though we knew Taylor Heineke didn't have the arm strength. We understood that his ability to scramble, his toughness and stuff like that would keep us in the game. Even though we understood that he had things that he couldn't overcome. We knew that, but we always felt we was in the game. And here we are now facing a easier schedule. Well, I'm sorry. It's easier for the rest of the NFC East. It's not as easy for us for some reason. But here we are facing a schedule that is supposed to be easy, and we're losing. And not only that, there isn't a point where we feel like we're in the game. Even when the game is close, we feel like we're not in the game. And that is demoralizing for us. That is why you're hearing people talk about, let's bring Taylor in. And then it comes off as coddling a quarterback whose mentals are off. Like, it can't always come off as the reason we're throwing so much is because we're trying to show Carson how confident we are in him. But guess what? If you do that and he throws a pick, the backlash he gets from the fan base is screwing up his confidence. It's messing up his confidence. Carson Wentz doesn't need to throw 40-something times a game. He doesn't need to throw over 35 times a game. Frank Wright and them understood that when he was in Indianapolis, which is why they went to that big running game. And I understand that everybody is saying, Brian Robinson. Guess what? You got 3 other running backs on this team. 3 other guys on this team. Brian Robinson should have never been put in a position of having to come back from not playing football for a while. That doesn't mean he's not going to be good. It just means that he needs time to get himself to a point at where he's ready to take on that load. Right now, he's not ready to take on that load. But guess what? Jonathan Williams was there. You could have ran him more. Just win. Don't lose. That's all we ask. Because if we go down in this Chicago game, it's hard for us as a fan base to not believe that we won't go 1-16 in this season. Do you know that we will be the first team in the history of the NFL to go 1-16? That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. And understand this. Right now, we will be 0-5 if Trevor Lawrence somehow makes a couple plays. If Travis Etienne doesn't drop that football. There are plays that happen that we could be 0-5 right now. They need to get it together. They need to get it together. And Ron needs to start coming with a more consistent message. Because right now, the inconsistent messaging, again, as the fans, we're getting it. We understand it. We see it. Imagine what those players are getting. Just imagine that. Imagine if we're frustrated at his inconsistent messaging, or we're frustrated at his arrogance and his lack of understanding that you're insulting intelligent people. Imagine what these players are feeling. Imagine what these players are dealing with. Imagine the messaging that the players are getting. All we gotta do is win. We got Chicago coming up. For everybody that also knows, I'm going to be doing Capitals coverage. I'm going to be doing Wizards coverage. So those videos will be out there too. The Caps actually play today. So again, like I said, it will be a mixture of all that, but it will still be heavily Commanders content. Other than that, y'all tell me what y'all think. What are some of the things that needs to happen for us to actually win this game? And can we trust that Ron's message to the players is consistent enough to help them win? Y'all let me know. Like, subscribe, comment. Other than that, this has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fans Sports Show.